Yeah, I said that I was missing our meetings as well. I mean, it's been crazy days, working on this new spirit center, but I love our meetings. I even thought about starting my meeting from there, but I don't know. I do not have internet, so I didn't want to trust on my hotspot. Right? Uh, so I misspelled. October the 19th is today, and let's get started with our prayer for today. And okay, I will do it. So let's close our eyes, elevate our thoughts, and focus on the higher beings and our Master Jesus, on the spirits of light, as they gather here right now with us, as they come to be with us this afternoon or tonight, depending on where we are. Let's embrace them, invite them, and ask for their help as we do our study today. Help to comprehend not only from the intellectual standpoint, but also from the moral, spiritual, emotional, psychological standpoint. Because everything we do, every meeting we do on this Friday and this Saturday's afternoon, it's not just about our intellectual knowledge, it's not just about embellishment of our intellect, but it is about inner transformation. It is about evolving or stepping into a new stage in our lives. So thank you, Lord, for this opportunity. Thank you for your teachings. And thank you because at this point in our lives, we can say that we know you. Not because we can say we believe you, but because we know you walk with us every day in our lives. So thank you for everything. Thank you for your love for all of us. And we ask your protection today and always. And so be it. Okie doke. So, this week somebody sent to me something that was very nice. It was about being grateful. And I think I shared with you the short video of the little boy, in his parents' marriage, and his words were so beautiful. But I do not know, because I do not believe in coincidence. But then I ran across this quote right here. When asked if my cup is half full or half empty, my only response is that I'm thankful I have a cup. And if you think about Yes, and then I thought to myself, yes, we should be thankful about that glass of, that cup. But more than anything, no, my goodness, thank you because of the water. We are so much spoiled that we have water as soon as we open the faucet, and there you go, we have water. We don't even think about that in this world right now. There are millions of people that do not have that luxury, if you will, that convenience, right? And it is something amazing. But anyway, so I really like the quote, and it tells about a lot about being thankful and having that kind of attitude. So that's why I also like this quote from Mr. Bernard Shaw, that he says progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. So we live in a world that so many people, they just complain about not having something, not just because lacking of their conveniences. And I say that because I had a serious conversation with my own son and said, hey, for everything, you promised me you were going to do this. For everything that you think is wrong, or you observe, or you note that is something wrong or something you don't like, try doing this exercise. If you can at least point to others, to other observations about things you like. The same aspect, same thing, same scene, same condition, same event. That's okay if you find something that you don't like, but try doing that exercise, observing other things that you like about it. That is actually, so you will see that, you will count on more things that you should be happy about it than things that you should be complaining about it. It's I think to me, that kind of attitude is a matter of not only intelligence but survival, right? If you want to be happy and if you want to overcome the challenges in this world, we better be a little bit smarter and stop complaining about it, about everything. Anyway, so again, we are in the book number 2, Spirit World, and the chapter 1 is Spirits. So we are right here, Spirit Hierarchy, but I guess today we'll pass progression, and then we might be able to tackle a little bit of angels and demons. There are several things, very nice considerations about those topics. So last time we met, we had this question: are spirits who have reached the supreme degree after wandering down the wrong road less worthy than others in God's eyes? The answer: God views the drifters who have returned to the right path with the same approval and loves. It loves them regardless of their past. That's amazing. I love that. They have been classified as bad spirits because they yield to bad temptations. Before their fall, they were merely simple spirits. So no judgment. It's just it's just a matter of responding or being the responsible ones for whatever we do, good or bad. So the next question now, still on progression of spirits. Are all spirits created equal in terms of intellectual capacity?
Mm,
I don't think so.
think so.
Let me ask this question in a different way, and I think you're gonna find easier to respond. Do you think God is a merciful father, is a gentle father, is a just father?
Yes, I do.
As a mother, do you do anything different to one of your kids?
Well,
If
what I can say is
mm,
that my children are all different and need
yes,
different things.
exactly. Yeah, that's
One of
fair.
them needs a lot of hugs, the other one doesn't.
Yeah, that's a fair, but remember, the spirits we receive, they have a past, so they have a history. They had the time to build up their own personalities. So now you're talking about God creating them the first time, right? So the answer is they're all created equal. But as they do not know from where they originate, their free will must take its course. They progress more or less rapidly in both intelligence and morality. So it's basically saying, yes, we are created equal, but we do not follow the same road. We have different lives, we have different spirit experiences, and we will, because of our free will, we will choose, we will make different choices, right? So that's what it is. And I like this comment from Kardec because he says, spirits who follow the right path from the beginning do not attain perfection right away. Life is too short for us to reach perfection. Despite being free from iniquity, they have to acquire the experience and wide-ranging knowledge necessary for their perfection. So it is our work. We will work on that path so we can acquire intelligence or knowledge, right? They may be compared to children who, no matter how good their natural instincts are, need to be developed and enlightened, and who cannot mature, mature without transition. Just as some people are good and others bad from infancy, some spirits are good and others bad from their inception. I had to pause here when I read this the first time because it is saying, the first time that I read this and said, okay, so God didn't create us equal because some were from their inception good or bad. But this is not what Kardec meant here. What he's saying is inception is as we are prepared for our incarnations, then because we have a past, then there will be some inclinations, right? There is, however, one radical difference. A child possesses instincts that have already been formed, while the spirit at its creation is neither good nor bad. Rather, it possesses all possible tendencies. God is just and good, so it will create us with all the possibilities equally. And it strikes out on its path through the action of its free will. Does that make sense?
Yes, it has everything, but then you choose your path.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I mean, why then are some children born with mental defect?
Cause and consequences, because sometimes that's something that Emmanuel says, that our body is like a tool that at the end of the day helps to purify our spirit. So sometimes, because of things that we decided to do in the past and we were not, say, making good choices, then in the next life, it is fair to say that that spirit, perhaps for the sake of his or her own progression, choose to be born with something, with a huge cancer, like from the womb, from the womb, not you know a child developing cancer while is still in the mother's womb. It's something that puzzles us, right? But that's why, because sometimes they use, or the spirits, they use our bodies as a tool to purify our spirits. Depending on the choices that we make, then we are just accumulating dark energies, we are just accumulating the effect of those wrongdoings in our perispirit. So the body will now serve as a form of purification. So that's how we drain that energy to the body. Thus, the answer for some, not is this is not the answer for everyone, but most of the cases. So that's how some of the cancer or cases, or you name it, so many other diseases, leprosy, but you name it. But that's why Emmanuel says that the sickness of the body is the medicine of the soul. Yeah. So sometimes we we look at those events when we are sick as a bad thing, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's the medicine for something else. So evidently we need to go to the doctor. We need to fight for our well-being. Yes, we need to work on it. But as a matter of fact, that's why I was uh, I was reading the other day. That's an explanation for, because remember, one day I talked to you about this little boy. He is the son of a colleague of mine, Austin, and he passed away last year from cancer. Well, he was fighting this cancer for 7 years. So every time that the cancer was coming back, so he was fighting, and then he was, overcoming, but then another different tumor, different case, etc., etc. Well, so I was reading about cases like this, and the answer that I found was, well, because sometimes you need more than one occasion to help draining that dense energy that sometimes we accumulate in our perispirits. Now, Not saying that every single cancer is about the same, no, it's just one of the possibilities that, they spirits they talk about. So, oh, angels and demons. That's a new topic on this chapter 1, and I like this topic. But yes, go ahead.
I've heard it before, and I'll just say it could have been a learning opportunity for the parents. In other words,
As well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's
always the child.
No, it's not just
Child
about the child.
Volunteered to go through that out of love for those individuals who needed that to purify their souls.
Yes. And in that case, we can say the child is actually a more evolved spirit helping with the parents' progression, right?
Getting back to what Hyacinth brought up, because this is something that I've thought about too in the past, not so much now, but the pain, the suffering. If it's not an if, we're eternal immortal beings.
Mm-hmm.
God has created, and there's no time on the other side. So if someone out of love, if we say, sure, we'll go down and spend a whole lifetime, and it might be 2 minutes eternal time,
Exactly.
We'll get
Yes.
this for you. Why would someone volunteer for something so horrendous? Because in eternity time, it might be 60 seconds. It's just our perception of a lifetime is, oh, it's so long. No, it might be like that. And you're right back home, with your angels, just that fast. And would I do that for someone I loved? You betcha. I'd volunteer.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yes, yes. And that's why some mothers, they go to horrendous places to fight for their sons and daughters, right? Because, for them, love, guys, as always, the answer is love is the all the force and the energy that we need, right? Last week I heard something that made me think about spirit's progression as well. The and the guy was saying, this speaker was saying, the more evolved the spirit, the less influence of the physical world, the less influence matter will have on this spirit, right? So meaning the next incarnation, so let's say I'm not pure yet, I'm not perfect, but I am on almost, that stage. So the more I evolve, or the more that spirit evolves, the less influence I will suffer from matter, meaning I will not be so sick, or I will not feel so sick. I will not be so hungry, or I will not feel like I need a lot of food. They say actually, as we evolve, we start learning that the way, even nutrition, the way that we eat, we'll be educated about that. We'll learn how to do it, and we'll learn that actually we don't need that much. You see what I'm saying? So it is like we almost overfeed ourselves, but this is in fact an ancient memory from, past, saying that, oh, I need to build up energy to overcome days when food will not be available. So it is almost like, in the past, and let's say when we were at the very beginning of the humanity, sometimes because we were hunting or because we were harvesting, we had the food today, but nobody knew if, next week we would have a meal. So we better build up energy. We better eat fat or something because, it was uncertain that the next day that, yeah, for sure, there will be a meal. So we still, in our instincts, it's like still have something about it. And but as we evolve, as we learn, as we turn our focus away, or we drift away from the material world, and then we start focusing more on the spiritual dimension, now we it's kind of we educate ourselves saying, okay, so perhaps I don't need much, I should trust more that I have a meal today, tomorrow there will be a meal because I have a job or because I have means to provide for myself. But if it doesn't, I'm not gonna die, because I know how to ask for help and things like this. So we'll learn how to live in this world of collaboration, and that's how it is. So this guy, he was saying, the more we evolve, the less of influence from matter, and because of that, the more subtle we become. So the less dense will be our body, because we really do not, we start learning that we do not need that much in terms of physical dimension. So that's one of the things actually that explained to me, okay, so how come Jesus was able to go to the desert and meditate for many, many days without food? Because guys, Jesus is a pure spirit. It is the only one that came down here. And because he doesn't, at that time, 2000 years ago, as pure spirit, there was no influence from matter. He could overcome hunger or thirsty. He could, in his state of mind, he could overcome those kind of things that is unimaginable for us to do. But for him, no, because those things do not mean the same as it does to us.
When you started to talk about a higher level spirit, where I thought you were going to go with it was something that I had thought of, but you didn't go that way. You were talking about, yes, how did Jesus do that? It also occurs to me that if we're real close to, I guess, evolving or purifying, or however you want to say it, as a spirit, and let's say we've just got a little bit left to go for that next level, and how do you want to get there? Do you want to get there with 3 lives that are just a little difficult, or do you want to get there quicker with one that's really hard? And I think, with an awareness that we're eternal and that a lifetime is, in terms of immortality, I'd probably say, I'll take that hard one. I want to get there faster.
Yes. And the funny thing is, what they say is the higher beings, not the superior spirits, not the pure one, because pure, we just had Christ, right? So everybody else that we can think of, they were superior, they were not pure. So but funny thing is, so for example, they say that Mother Teresa of Calcutta, I do not know how you say in English,
Calcutta.
but Calcutta,
Mhm.
that they say that only 1 week after her transition, she said, I'm ready to go. And then they said, okay, so don't you want to, you have done a tremendous job down there, and you did an awesome job and a lot of work. So take your time to just, take a break. Like, right? She said, no, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Do you see that, the work is not even
Send
halfway
me in,
done?
coach. Send me in.
and they said, okay, so but you can pick whatever you want to go. She said, if there is a place I want to go, send me to the hottest one, because she knows that that's where the most needy spirits are, the most complicated cases. So the point is, the superior, or the higher the spirits, the more evolved, they do not choose themselves, they choose love. You see what I'm saying? It's not more about how fast I can go, but how much love I can give away. So yeah, it's very, yeah, go ahead, Heising.
No, no, it was just that you asked about that Jesus was able to do things that other people couldn't do.
Mhm.
But remember that he was God in human form.
Yes, and yeah, and he said that one day we will do things like him and even more.
You can do greater, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's hard to believe at this stage, but being Jesus, I will.
But also, don't forget that Jesus could bilocate. Remember,
Yes.
so that said to my priest once, because when they were trying to kill him, and he just got away.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was not time. Yes,
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 and so
yeah.
and so the people said, "Hey, how did you get here so fast without boat?" Well,
Yeah.
he could
Eh,
fly.
yeah, and the reason, sometimes people think, well, but being Jesus, why passing all those experiences, crossing, all the pain and torture? But the thing is, for us, it is that way, because as living in this body and being, a lower rank kind of spirit, yes, we would feel all the pain and, humiliation, etc. So for us, it is like a trial, it is like an atonement, but not for a pure spirit like Jesus, because everything that he did for love. So it is a choice. It was about him choosing that way. So that's funny, because even I was Catholic for so many years in my life, but only today, after learning about Spiritism, I am able to understand Jesus' way much more.
Actually, yes, that's been my experience, because doing esoteric workshops, it gave me a much wider view and I understood much better.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Still, I can say that is still, for us, is still a challenge to understand and know better about the nature of a pure spirit like Jesus, but I can say that his attitudes and his choices, I'm able to understand way better than before. Okay, so angels and demons, and I like this because it is a very polemic topic, but I love the way that Kardec put everything together in a very logical way. So, and we'll see how he did. So, the question that he had was, do angels, archangels, and seraphim constitute? Remember, something that I want to remind you all. Remember when we were looking at the spirit hierarchy, and he kind of for a learning for the learning sake, for like a methodology for us to learn, he classified in 3 classes, right? So the pure spirits, the superior spirits, and the imperfect spirits. So we are in the third the third class, so we are imperfect. But so the superior ones, so all those guys helping the entire humanity, you know, those big missions, etc., etc., those are superior. And then the pure. But he, in the class of imperfect spirits, so he had subclasses. Superior spirits also, he had subclasses, but for the pure spirit, he had only one class, saying that's it. So it was very wise from Kardec to put that way, because it was his way to say, hey, who am I? If I do not know anything about pure spirits, if I do not know anything about the nature of those guys, we had only experienced one guy coming from that order to the earth. Who am I to outline or classify those guys? I have no idea. So he said it was class, just a single class, right? But note that now he had different categories for the pure spirits: angels, archangels, and seraphims.
About
Like,
cherubim and seraphim.
yes, so archangels is like the top-notch guys, the bosses, the veteran, right? So he's the one saying whose mission, the seraphims, the cherubims, the angels, where they go. Okay, guys, we have this mission. You go. So the archangels, they're the ones outlining their strategy. So they're the boss. But there is something. There is a classification. It's just that Kardec said, I don't feel that I am qualified to classify those guys, because it's way beyond my my knowledge. So, do angels, archangels, and seraphim constitute a special category different than of other spirits? So the answer, no. We are all created equal. No, they are pure spirits. So they got there. They got there, right? So anyway, those who reached the highest degree of the ladder are all united in perfection. The word angel generally implies the idea of moral perfection, but it is often applied to all superhuman beings, good or bad. Therefore, we say a good angel, a bad angel, or angel of light. the angel of darkness. All those things we are saying, but we don't really think about what we are saying, right? And so on. In those cases, it is synonymous with spirit. They are always spirit. It is employed here in its most popular sense. So, yeah, so they are, so one day, we do not know how many lives, billions of years, but that's our destiny. Otherwise, God would not be just and good, right? So, but that's our destiny. Now,
But,
sorry,
but we know the names of the archangel.
yes,
Michael, Gabriel,
Gabriel,
Raphael.
Raphael,
There's another one.
yeah. Gabriel,
Yes,
and
Gabriel,
Uriel,
Michael, Raphael, and there's another one.
Uriel,
Uriel, yes.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Please tell me
Yeah.
they're not all men.
They don't have any sex. They don't have.
Yeah, it's
They're neuter.
mhm.
They
I'm
just
not
have
buying that. Sorry.
no.
But I thought
Yeah,
the
yeah.
soul itself was neutral.
It
No,
is.
no sex.
Yes.
It is.
Then those are names that we humans have given them, and
Well, I guess that we
give
have
them
given
male
them
Exactly.
because
You
we're the
nailed.
human. Yeah.
You nailed. Yeah. And the humans, and let me say which humans, the Hebrew guys.
yeah, that explains it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was a society, so yeah, we have to put in
In the
perspective.
context.
Exactly. Exactly. That's it. That's it. So have the angels passed? Oh, I have to say. So for example, Saint Michael's, archangels. Guess whose orders he's following? Mary. Hello. Yes.
Say that again.
So there's got to be something higher than an archangel to give the orders.
Mary.
Oh.
Mother Mary or Holy Mary. She is the one working within, so Saint Michael's helps her.
Well, Mary is above them all. She's above the archangels.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So have the angels passed through every degree of progress? We are created equal. God is just and good, is a good father, generous. So, yes. But with the difference that we have already mentioned. Some of them, accepting their mission with resignation, have reached their goal more quickly, like Gloria was saying, while others have taken longer in reaching the same goal. So if we think about, for example, some individuals in the past, let's pick the beginning of Christianity, and those guys dying because of their faith, we have to believe, oh my goodness, it's a very hard choice to do. Someone with a spear or something saying, okay, do you believe in Jesus? Yes or no? And you have to think, okay, so I say no, it's a no game for me. If I say yes, but somehow those beings, those spirits, they understood right away what the message was about. They understood, despite the fact that they were in a very ancient world and they were fighting for their survival, they truly believed that there is another life, and actually this other life, it is the real life. So they made a huge choice back then because they had that truth in their hearts. So I want to say those guys, they reached their goal quickly. Others, like Emmanuel, said, well, I don't think so. And Jesus said to Emmanuel back then, he said, if it's not now, then it will be another couple thousands of years. And he truly regretted that. So, right? So it is a good example. Those guys dying in the circus, and and someone like a Roman senator like Emmanuel saying, well, I don't think so. Had to wait another 2,000 years. Yeah. So, oh, I forgot to put this. So, the next question, if the opinion that acknowledges that some beings have been created perfect and superior to all others is wrong, why is this belief found in almost every population or religion? So in another way, if we are created equal, why so many denominations, so many religions and beliefs saying that, they're ranks?
The male ego.
That's what they've been told.
Exactly. Guys, I love you guys. So you need to understand that your world, the man's world, has, sorry guys, I have two boys, that okay, but I have to, we have to be realistic. So you need to understand that your world has not existed for all eternity. Long before it existed, masses of spirits had already attained the supreme degree. So, for example, why someone like Buddha was here? How come someone like Buddha was here so many thousands of years before? Well, that guy, he was not from this world. His progression happened in different galaxies. So as he came over here as superior spirit, so he was considered superior, somebody above and beyond, right? So masses of spirits had already attained the supreme degree. Therefore, the people on earth naturally assume that those perfect spirits have always been at the same degree of elevation. So that's why the Hindu people, they were calling devas, I guess that's how they call gods. They were considering those guys as God because they were able to meditate and spend many days without food or water or even levitate, right? Well, but probably their progression happened in a different galaxy, not really here. So I put it over here, a comment saying that based on the Spirit's book and the Gospel according to Spiritism, it takes billions of years for a spirit to reach perfection. And once it does, once the spirits reach perfection, it meets with pure spirits that reach that goal long before that specific spirit. Even within that class of spirits, we can infer there is a hierarchy. Although Kardec didn't there to classify them, but there is people like veterans and, you know, the sophomore guys, yeah, because we really do not know their nature, so it is way beyond our comprehension at this point. So for example, they say that once we reach that stage, we reach that goal, they say that those spirits, they're capable of understand the nature of God. Right now is beyond us. We cannot comprehend, but those guys, they are so, and remember, it's not from the moral standpoint, but it is also from intellectual standpoint. I can only imagine, you know, the sacrifice of Jesus coming over here in a world that with people that didn't know even how to get water in their restroom. So, but you know, he loved them all regardless. It was not a sacrifice for him, it was all for love. So, okay, another good one. Do demons, as commonly understood, exist? Kardec, he did ask that. If demons existed, there would be God's work. Would it be just on the part of God to create beings eternally condemned to a life of wickedness and misery? Isn't it? So
Can I say something?
yes.
If I understand correctly, Lucifer, the Satan, the devil, was the brightest angel in heaven.
Yes.
But he decided he was as good as God.
Yes.
And so started doing things, and then he fell.
Yeah.
So that's how I understood Satan to come about. That he wasn't created bad.
Exactly. It was a choice. Right? It was a choice. So that's something that I must say, as Catholic, I didn't understand. I could not conceive the idea of God creating darkness. Darkness is a man's creation. And remember, darkness is the absence of light. So then, oh yeah, I have the, yeah, that's the answer. If demons exist, it is in your low world and any other of similar degree. People who represent a just God as being cruel and vindictive, and who believe they will receive God's approval through the misdeeds they commit, are hypocrites. So I like this. So right now, Gloria, can you please read this for us? It is the
Sure,
comment.
sure.
It is a comment from Kardec to this question, to this answer in the
The word demon only implies the idea of bad spirits in its modern acceptance. Its Greek root, daemon, means genius or intelligence, and is applied broadly to all immaterial beings, whether good or bad. I did not know that.
yeah, daimon, in Greek, daimon.
A diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Demons or devils, according to the popular meaning attributed to these words, are allegedly a class of beings that are fundamentally bad. If they exist, they would be God's creation, just like everything else. However, a supremely just and good God would not have created beings predestined to evil by their very nature and condemned to a life of eternal misery. If they are not a creation of God, they must either have existed for all eternity like God, or there must be several supreme beings. The first requirement of any theory is to be logical. The idea that postulates the existence of demons as commonly known lacks this essential condition. It is natural that underdeveloped people who know nothing of God's attributes and profess the existence of malicious deities should also acknowledge the existence of demons. For people who acknowledge God's goodness as an attribute par excellence, it would be illogical to presume that God could have created beings destined to do bad deeds forever. This belief would conflict with God's goodness.
I do recommend the reading of this topic because it's much longer than this, but it is a very good reading just to see how Kardec is outlining all the points and the logical reasons why no or why yes. And it is like I said, I started to finally understand how things are after reading this. Oh yeah, this makes sense to me. You know, I can get that. So really logical, isn't it? So purpose of incarnation. What is the purpose of a spirit's incarnation? So we all know that, right? So God imposes incarnation as a tool to reach perfection. For some, it is a means of making amends. I am in that position. While for others, it is a mission. I'm not there yet. I'm really making amends still. Every spirit must experience the difficulties of physical existence to reach perfection. Therein lies their atonement. Incarnation also requires a spirit to contribute to the work of creation. Again, that's what Jesus was talking about. One day you will do things that I do and more. But also here, look, Kardec or the spirit, we didn't know about quantum physics. And today we are learning that our mind, and because of the way our thoughts, we create reality. So that's exactly what it's saying. Incarnation also requires a spirit to contribute to the work of creation. And because we are here, we also, with our thoughts, with our vibration, we are helping with the creation of this world. We are helping with the progression of each other, right? With our experiences. To fulfill this purpose, the spirits assume physical bodies in harmony with the material state of each world to accomplish the missions that have been appointed to them by God. It is a thing that we cannot get away from. We need to incarnate. So we are free to do whatever we want. We are free to do everything we want, but it is something that is given to us and we cannot get away from. That's reincarnation, and reincarnation, that's how we evolved, and no other way, right? Yes, we evolve, we learn in the spiritual dimension, but if we want to be more efficient and go a little faster and learn with a higher degree of efficiency the lessons, incarnation is the way. So through these missions, they contribute to the general good while also achieving their own advancement. let's see, we still have, so then there is a comment, there is another question on not question, but there is another comment on this about incarnation. The action of physical beings is necessary. The action, I mean, the life, right? Our lives over here. The action of physical beings is necessary to the operation of the universe, but God has wisely designed this action to serve as a means of climbing closer to God. Thus, through the law of providence, all things are connected and everything in nature is united. I think this is beautiful. Beautiful. And remember, this was 1800. They didn't know there were other galaxies. And yes, through this fabric in the universe, we are all united. When the human being discovered the atomic bomb and the bomb of neutrons, there were a meeting somewhere in our solar system, and they called this meeting the meeting of the Federation representative, like beings from many other places, and they were concerned about, okay, so what's gonna happen in this planet, because whatever happens here, that will be a ripple effect.
Galactic Federation.
Exactly. So then Jesus was there, and he was our lawyer. He made a case for us, and he asked us, so we were in probation. We were in probation, and it was, so Jesus asked for a time, and Chico said about that, because it is the topic for one of the books about it. It's called Due Date. So there was this meeting. Jesus was like our lawyer, and so we were in probation. There was a period for us to get better. So the period was, so the condition was, okay, so let's see how they go, and if they can live this X years, I don't remember the period of time, without a major war, like world war, then we will help them to pass through this transition to the regeneration. And we made it. We made it. We made it. So we didn't have, it's been what? So since 1940 is almost like 80 years with no war. So we passed, I think it was the probation period was like 60 years or something. And we made it. So now, yeah, definitely we are in the transition. So we stepped in this transition. We are not regeneration, but we are living in the transition. And remember what they mentioned about the book of Genesis talk about that the world, Hyacinth can help me better with that, but the book of Genesis mentioned something about this mother in a labor work with a lot of pain and those kind of, well, the mother is about the planet Earth and all the natural things that's gonna happen, the not geographical, but the hurricanes and the earthquakes and all those kind of things, they are natural. It's not punishment. It's not anything. They're just natural physical changes happening to the planet, because yeah, the whole vibe is all about moving to a higher vibration stage. So, yeah. So guys, it's what? 4:11 here. I guess we have one more time for, I love this. Is incarnation necessary for spirits who have followed the right path from the outset?
Yes, it's
It is always necessary. According to this hierarchy of the spirits, the only spirit that will not need to incarnate is the pure spirit, because there is nothing else to purify. That guy is perfect already, has passed through purification over millions, billions of years. As long as we have something to purify, then we need to incarnate.
But who are these people?
Uh,
Who
we
are
can
these people? Not on earth. These people.
we can
Yeah.
barely hear you. Let me repeat. I think you were asking who are the ones who don't need to incarnate, right?
Yes.
The pure spirits, because they made it. They got
Yes,
there.
yes, but where are these pure spirits? On earth?
On earth, no.
No, in another place. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And okay, so there is one thing that Kardec asked. Okay, so how we call the spirit between incarnations? So no. He asked, what are the spirits in the moment between incarnations? So the answer was they are like errant spirits. Errant from the fact that they do not have a final destination yet. Like today I'm here, tomorrow I will have a different body, and the following incarnation I will have another completely different body in a different world, in a different galaxy, or in a different country. Today I'm here, but I can be in Africa tomorrow. So I do not have a final destination yet. I do not have an address, a permanent address yet, because I'm still traveling and, kind of stopping, it's a, how do we call, multi-destination type of trip. But when finally I purified my soul, I purified my spirits, I'm pure spirit. Now I got it to my final destination, the celestial world. In the celestial world, it is still a world, and is made of universal cosmic fluid, like everything else in the whole universe. We need the universal cosmic fluid, and we do as well. It's just that we have this more dense form of, combination, if you will, of the same unit or the same fluid.
So
But
have angels ever incarnated?
have
angels incarnated?
They were created equal.
And they incarnated.
And they passed through incarnations, but today they don't need to anymore. The only one that we know of that had incarnated was Jesus, just because he wanted to. He didn't have to. But because he loves us, then he decided to do, but he didn't have to. So
no, go ahead.
yeah, so for the angels, They have to know. Remember when Gabriel came and he talked to Mary? He just showed us. He just showed up and he did his mission. So he doesn't need to incarnate anymore to do his work. There is nothing else more for him to purify. Or her.
But Gabriel has he's appeared to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Michael,
Michael.
ambassador who got messages,
Mm-hmm.
she saw in her kitchen a being who said, I am your angel Daniel,
Oh.
and I have come because our Lord wants to use you, and so I have come to teach you.
Oh.
And a lot of people see angels all the time.
All the time, yeah. So yeah, they don't have to be incarnated here to do their work and to help people to, yeah. So isn't that amazing? I love that. So is incarnation necessary for spirits who have followed the right path from the outset? All spirits are created simple and unaware and learn through the trials and tribulations of corporeal life. God is just. Our Creator could not create some spirits happy without their having experienced pain or without their having made an effort, in other words, without any merit. So yeah, so we have to work our path to purification.
Yeah. But there's one thing
Mm-hmm.
that Jesus came, I mean, he was one with God, and he came in human form to teach.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mary was chosen to give birth to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so he was, I think he was an angel, that he was God incarnate for a specific purpose.
Yeah, he was above all those
Yes.
angels and archangels. As a matter of fact, I don't recall where I read this, but there is a somewhere a reference that saying that since King Dave, so
Since what? Since
David.
oh, King David, yes, uh-huh.
Yeah. So there was about 1,000 years of preparation for Jesus to incarnate. Because for someone at that level, it was a huge work to prepare a vessel, meaning body, with the genetics that could actually fit someone of that level of energy. So it was 1,000 years of work, gene by gene, generation after generation, all the way to Mary.
Oh, so that when you talk about Mary, not Jesus, yes, because it was prophesied that the Messiah would come from the line of David.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how those prophecies, and anyway, I love this topic, and it's fascinating. But anyway, guys, it's what 4/9/21 here in Houston, and I must say that I had a wonderful time with you guys. I was missing you. Carol, I saw your note. I will respond to that. It's just that you can imagine I didn't have the time, but I will prepare what you asked me. And I hope to see you all next week. Love you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Love
you.
you guys.
Bye-bye.
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 Thank
See you
you.
tomorrow, Gloria, Carol.
Yep, you bet.
I'll be on the road. I'll be on the road.
Oh, will you be careful?
I think about you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.